All right, y'all, we back with another one. Man, this is Coach B, and we share the podcasts with individuals that have businesses, that are entrepreneurs, and also we interview individuals that people of faith. So this is another guest I have on, and man, just want to start it off by saying like this Trevor, and he's gonna share like his journey concerning entrepreneurship and whatever it is that God's puts on your heart that you can share. And like man, this one gonna be very very special to me because he really is a brother to me. So I'm super excited just to have him on a podcast with us, and let God use you. So from the bottom, like just tell us how you got started into your business, with your business, and what made you become an entrepreneur?
From the beginning?
From the beginning, the beginning.
Um, Early memories I have are of my mom coming home from work crying in stress and in tears. Didn't always see her when she came home, but when she did come home from work, she was crying. And it was my understanding that the reason she was crying was because of her boss, and she had no choice. She needed to work. And so uh, I would always just ask her, why do you have to go? Why do you have to be there? And of course, we have to make a living, and we don't understand what the sacrifices that our parents are making for us at
Right.
the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um, but to me, it was plain and simple that her problem was she had a boss.
Mm-hmm.
And that if she didn't have a boss, she wouldn't have a reason to be upset. And then I watched her go through some financial trouble, in which case, this job that she's working for her money also didn't pay her enough. So she was coming home crying and she didn't have enough money, but she had the job.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, well, if it's not the job and you don't want a boss, then what's the other answer? And her tax guy who was helping her repair her situation with her taxes said, you could be a business owner. And I said, you could. And I was very intrigued. And so he, that day, helped me start up my first business. I was 13 years old. And we started Trevor Enterprises. And it was just bare bones. Go out and do labor and solicit yourself to the neighbors for lawn mowing or yard cleaning. Any work that they would give you, you were going to take it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
feel the, pull weeds or anything. And so I was doing business under the name Trevor Enterprises all throughout high school. And I had at least one of my neighbors whose lawn I mowed pretty much through junior year. And I would even have my lawnmower in the trunk of my car with the handle hanging out.
Let's go.
And the neighbors would stop by and say, hey, are you mowing their lawn? I said, yeah. And they're like, well, would you mow mine next?
Yeah.
And so grew a little bit organically that way. And, we're talking back in the 90s, so we didn't have the internet to market on. And, if you even had a printer to be able to put on paper to put up, on the street poles or something that you were offering a service. And so from a very early age, I was knocking on all the neighbors' doors on a very regular basis, trying to offer them services.
Come on.
And so I had canvassed probably my entire childhood neighborhood, probably 3 times in entirety, just looking for anything. Whether we were delivering flyers or trying to gain businesses, anything like that. But,
Wow, just that start right there. What's kind of funny is because like we kind of got that related business startup because I too like started with just one lawnmower in the back of a car. So like I could definitely relate. I can definitely relate. So fast forward, you in high school. You carried this on in high school. All right. Did you actually ever get a regular job, or did you just stand in the business field?
plenty, actually. In fact, you know, when you're in business as an entrepreneur, you know, you go through moments of time where you have a lot of energy and a lot of motivation, and
Yeah.
periods of time where you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And so in periods of time where I had the energy and had the motivation, I was plenty full of work. Pretty much just filled up my weekends. But I usually carried a job ever since I was 13. So I had a number of jobs. Something that helped me with my entrepreneurial skills was that I was selling newspaper subscriptions door to door.
Come on.
And so the Arizona Republic at the time would offer you a 2-week free subscription. And so we would take around the forms and pamphlets and we would sign people up for a free 2-week subscription to the Arizona Republic. And we would get $7 for every subscription that we signed up. And so I would go out as a young man, 13, 14, 15 years old, door to door,
Yeah.
hustling the Arizona Republic. And tell them that, you know, you're going to get 2 free Sunday newspapers with all the coupons inside. What times have changed.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Have you ever saw yourself as through those times that you was passing out those newspapers, pushing those lawnmowers? Did you ever see yourself the person that you are now?
I think that it was absolutely my goal, my dream, my destiny. Now, where I am now, has it satisfied? No.
Yeah.
But if I were to go and tell my 13-year-old
Yeah,
self
yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm at, he's going to be pretty excited. For it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing being me right now, so I'm blessed. So
Right.
I appreciate, you know. But I still want more, want to do more,
Yeah, yeah.
want to be more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like we all have our growth spurts, and you know, want to become the best version of us. So, yeah, definitely. So tell us about your business and what all your business entails, and like what made you get into the business that you have. Like when did it click? Like, man, this is it. This is the one I want to invest in. Like when did it actually hit you?
You know, I've definitely got to give some credit to a friend of mine who implanted the idea in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But I was working in the automotive industry, and surrounded by. Well, let me first tell you what we're doing is we've got an automotive metal recycling niche. So we place containers at car dealerships and automotive repair facilities and pick up their scrap metal and haul it to the scrap yard.
Yeah.
But I got into that because I was working in the parts counter at the local car dealership and seeing our new parts going out and learning a little bit about what happened to the parts after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had some random people coming by picking it up, and I would ask questions. This person who implanted the idea was very much a mentor of mine and would educate me throughout the day. You know, I was a young man at work, and he was this older guy, and he would do things like give me a word of the day, a vocabulary word of the day, and he very much cared about me growing up and progressing as an adult and as a man. So I look back and I guess I'm thankful for his mentorship. I wish that, you know, maybe I should reconnect with him. But, you know, in the process, you know, I'm looking around and I have a child on the way and money's about to be tight. So I started collecting all the used parts that we had and I was selling it and using that to help pay for some child expenses. And ultimately rolled it into a full-time job. I think it took a little while, but
So basically, like, by your on the way son, that's what motivated you to really. Just,
oh yeah, yeah, because you know, like I said, you know, we're in those periods of times where you're motivated and you're not motivated.
Yeah.
So once I moved out of my high school childhood home, I had walked away from, you know, the one lawn that I was mowing, and so Trevor Enterprises was nothing. And my goal was to work in the automotive industry,
Wow.
and, you know, restore classic cars, which didn't happen, thank goodness.
And bro, like, I'm gonna just tell you this. I can say this on camera, off camera. Like, man, you pretty much is a dope dad, bro. Like for real. And his son is in the studio today as well. Man, y'all should see him. He's like a linebacker, 6 foot linebacker, can pick up a whole house. But nah, man, it's just like I'm just recapping off like when we first met. like when we first met, and man, I first time in Colorado, man, and I was just getting my business started, and man, I reached out to you
For carts.
for cards, right?
Carts.
For cards, like just to start my business, and ever since that day, man, we just connected, man, right then and there, like
That day you gave me something. I'm very thankful for it. And
Yeah.
so you helped me reconnect my ties to my higher power.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So very thankful for it.
yeah.
It's funny, another impactful thing that happened that very day that I met you was the day that I damaged the whole side of my brand new truck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I was having a real rough day, and man, you prayed for me. We hugged, and
Yeah.
you prayed for a complete stranger that day,
Wow.
and it was great.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah. Ever since then, bro, it's just like we just been connected, man. God's just been working in both our lives. Like you've been teaching me things about business and different things like that, how to structure a business. So, like, man, I think you should do a mentor class for entrepreneurs. Man.
I'm looking for a
You're
mentor.
really good.
I would be willing to mentor people, but I'm looking for a mentor.
Yeah.
I've got more learning to do. I've got
Yeah.
nothing but learning
Cool.
to do.
Cool. Just those little nuggets you share with me, man, like helping me, like how to structureize my business, asking me questions. Hey, look, make sure that you do this, and like, yeah, I took that and like, man, really did needed that. Yeah. So going back to your motivation and your drive was your son, and the reason why I say that, man, you're a dope father is because like, man, when we be driving in the truck, man, he got two trucks, y'all. This big old 18-wheeler truck. So we was driving in the truck. Um, you always talk about your son.
It's all I talk about.
You always talk about
It's
your
the
son.
only thing that matters in my life. There's nothing else in my life that matters even remotely close to what it matters to me to
Yeah,
have my son in my life.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
What an opportunity. What a blessing. And it drives me to be a better version of myself every hour, every minute
yeah.
is what I'm here for. It's God's purpose for me.
I think that's super dope, man. And just, I'm pretty sure like you inspire a lot of fathers, man, just to be better. You know what I'm saying? You're a really good role model of a good father. Like I saw your sacrifice and your drive for your son. I saw it, and I'm not just saying it just to say because we're on camera. Like I just tell you that all the time, man. Like for real, for real.
I'm proud of it, but I tell you what, what's important every day I think about is that, you can't just be a good father. You have to be a good father every day.
Mhm.
Every hour even, that I make tons of mistakes all the time,
Of
every
course, we
single
all do.
day.
Yeah.
But when I can catch myself and I can come back and I can try again, or I can apologize or say I was wrong, then I recover a little bit and I can say, okay, maybe I was a good father at least for a little bit. It's important to me to be the best father I can be. I'll never be perfect.
Yeah.
Um, it's always my goal, always what I'm shooting
Yeah,
for.
the goal. Yeah, yeah. So just us just talking about the father and son circumstances. Like I never was raised with a father, right? So me experiencing God as being a perfect father, right? It taught me and stewarded me how to be a father as well, and just like we always try to do our best, right? But we're human. We're not perfect, right? But God is perfect, right? So we after His molding, things to become more and more like Him. So man, I encourage anybody, any individual, any father that is watching. I know sometimes you do your best and feel like your best ain't good enough, but just don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself. Remember, we're a work in progress, and I just want to encourage y'all to continue to be who God calls y'all to be. So yeah, let's jump back into business. So all right, so walk me through it. How did you get your first truck?
Well, when I talk about the mentor who kind of implanted the idea in my head, I didn't have a truck. In fact, I didn't have a vehicle at that time. At all. I didn't have nothing. I was getting everywhere on a skateboard.
What?
On a skateboard.
Come
through some
on.
poor choices of mine, I was getting everywhere
Yeah.
on a skateboard.
But you started from the bottom.
I started with nothing.
Yeah.
I absolutely started with nothing.
Yeah.
And so he let me borrow his truck.
Mhm.
He let me fill it up, haul it in. And as soon as I had enough money, I think I found a pickup truck, an old 69 F100 with like a straight six or something. $500.
Yeah.
It was my next truck.
Yeah.
And then, I graduated a year later, and I'm like, okay, we've got this new plan. We're going to use these bigger trucks. These bigger trucks are going to help us out. Now I got to find one. So I found a really junky used one, and
Yeah.
the owner let me make payments on it. So, $1,000 a month payments. And so you're, $1,000 a month payments. And then, when that truck blew up, I got lucky. I wound up trading that truck in and another piece of equipment that had come across my lap that day, and I got two more trucks. And one of them was basically paid off, and then I got to make payments on the other one. So, part of it is again, we go back to this periods of time where you're motivated,
Yeah.
periods of time when you're not.
Yes.
And when you're motivated, you're going to find those deals.
Okay.
When you're looking, you'll find those deals. The deal of the decade is out there every day, but you got to be looking.
Gotta be looking.
And so if you're in one of those periods of low motivation, you got to recognize that you're in trouble. You got to find out how to pull yourself out. You got to learn how to hack your own motivation.
So what would that look like? Because have you ever had times where you was like, man, I'm through with this business. I'm tired of it. Like I'm just.
I think it's a
down.
daily struggle, but there are all sorts of ways that you can do it. But you need to be intentional. You either have a plan or you plan to fail.
Yeah.
And so that goes down to the month, the week, the day, the hour. And so as the day's going by, I'm trying to look at my task list. Am I doing the things that I set out to do? Am I doing the things I need to do? Am I where I need to be? And I'm constantly trying to look at these things and be like, and call myself out for it. Like, what you need is sales. And
Transparency.
then honestly tell myself, I don't want to go do sales. Okay, well, why? Why is it that I don't want to go do sales? And then try to understand what your own roadblock is.
I think that's one of the key points that you said, because just being transparent with yourself,
With yourself.
Yeah, just being transparent with yourself and where I am, where's my strength, right? Where's my weaknesses, where I'm not motivated at, and just looking yourself in the mirror. Hey, look, I don't have this part. I don't know the answer to this one. So, how did just going back of transparency, how you went from one driver to the next driver?
That's still a work in progress, but really what it was is how to get out of the driver's seat.
Yeah. Okay.
How to get out of the driver's seat is another one of those situations that you kind of have to understand. And there are probably a couple moving parts, but the biggest moving part is, your money. Is your money coming in? Do you have enough money? Because, one of the benefits, or not benefits, one of the advantages that some people can use for entrepreneurship is if your living expenses are small, then you'll make it a lot easier, right? That all I need is X amount of dollars and I'm okay. Mm-hmm. So once your business starts creating that surplus, you have to have the discipline to go back to this was all I need.
Right.
And so I got into a very good habit that I would set myself a paycheck. What is it that I needed? Didn't need to be the lowest dollar possible. Didn't need to be the highest dollar. It just needed to be comfortable. If I got this much money every month, would it be okay? Yeah, okay. So I set my paycheck up and I make sure that I never miss it. And anything else that goes after that, once it starts building up an accumulation, or it starts having its own budget within there to be able to fit another person's salary,
Mm-hmm.
then you can start shopping. But until you're there, until you're 2x what you need, you can't hire anyone else.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pull it out of your own pockets. As an entrepreneur, we're pulling it out of our own pockets. And I'm bootstrapping everything. I don't want to get a loan. I don't want to be tied to a loan. Yeah. And, it really helps me sleep at night to not have to owe people money.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So what would be your greatest advice if someone wants to start a business? Um, what some key pointers would you give them to help start their business?
Start the business you don't want.
Okay.
What I mean is left and right, people are shopping for their dream homes or their dream business, or they want to do their dream jobs. They think if they do what they love, that they never have to work a day in their life. But I believe that if you do what you love, you work every day of your life.
Let's go.
And maybe I'm just a little jaded. I would love to just be dad all day, but it doesn't pay the bills. And I see people out there who are wonderful musicians and would love to teach people how to play guitar for a living. I just don't know a lot of people that are willing to pay for that. A lot of people want that skill. A lot of people may want that job. I'm not sure if it would pay enough for me. And not only that, but I'm the talent. I want to create businesses that idiots can run. I may be an idiot, but it needs to be a simple business, and it needs to be something that everyone needs. And so things like plumber, electrician, carpenter, junk hauler, to me, they are the best businesses. Everyone needs them. Everyone can do them. And they're so simple, that, QuickBooks is more accounting power than I need to run my business. It's that simple. And it's a good beginner business. It's a good lifestyle, and it's honorable work. I used to have some shame, and people would say, "Oh, you're hauling trash." Oh, that's all right.
Trash turned into money.
Yeah, trash turned into money pretty quick, and found my pride back, and no longer care what other people think. Like I said, if I went back to 13-year-old me, I think he'd be pretty happy with where I'm at. And I got to admit, it's not too bad being me.
Yeah, I know, right? So, did you ever run into like any discouragements of people doubting who you will become and like putting some roadblocks in front of your way? Like, man, have that ever happened to you?
Sure, but the biggest one was myself. I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, we tell ourselves we don't want to because we think we can't.
Yeah.
The only reason I grew up not wanting a Mercedes was because I just thought I never could afford one. And once I started having the belief that these things are possible for me, then I can get outside of my negative my negative talk, and I can start saying positive things to myself. But if you're going to look at your son, would you ever tell him that there's something he couldn't do? No, you're going to instill in him the courage and strength that you can do whatever you want.
Right.
Don't talk negative about yourself. Like, don't do that to yourself. Like, other people are going to do it throughout your life. You should at least have confidence in yourself.
That's right. I think it all starts with you first, because there's a scripture in the Bible where it says, "So a man thinketh, so is he." Right. So our view of ourselves determines our belief concerning ourselves. So sometimes, most of the times, what I do is when I wake up in the morning, like I have some affirmations on the mirror, right? And it's just like I just speak it over myself, because sometimes you'll have thoughts to where like, um, thoughts of doubt, right? Insecurity will set in, right? Then you'll start thinking about your past and where you come from versus what God is showing you what's ahead, right? And then all that start playing in your mind. But what I do is just like sometimes I just have to, like, Lord, cast these thoughts down in the name of Jesus, and just keep looking forward to who God is grooming you up to be, and what He have your eyes on, your focus on, right? So that's how I surpass those thoughts. Do I still get them? 100%, like 100%, and we just got to keep going and not listening to those thoughts. So I want to encourage like the viewers, like sometimes we is gonna have those thoughts of doubt, insecurities, based upon where we come from, and certain circumstances we put ourselves in. Don't let that determine how far you go, because sometimes God is wants you to escape your present into your future by what you see. So don't be caught up on where you at now, but focus your mind and your heart on where God is taking you at. So I just want to encourage the viewers. But yeah, back to what you were saying, brother. What you passionate about? Cause we about to begin and end it. But what you passionate about?
Well,
Like one thing that you passionate about.
beat a dead horse, but I'm pretty passionate about my son, my little family that I have.
Okay.
But if we're gonna dial down into other stuff, I like growth,
Okay.
whether it's personal or seeing it in other people, and I find that in a lot of ways. So like to surround myself with people who are growing.
Yeah.
I want to grow.
Yeah.
I have ambition to grow, and so, like I said, right now I'm heavily involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and also in Alcoholics Anonymous. I know maybe that's maybe taboo to say on a podcast. I don't care.
That's good. We transparent.
I don't care, but
It's good.
I'm surrounding myself with people who are making positive changes in their life,
Of course.
and I want to learn from them, take their knowledge, and through osmosis, build me into the best that I can be, so that I can turn around and give it back to my son.
Amen. That's super good. All right. So we about to get ready to close. What? One more question. If it's something that you could say to the viewers to help them to grow mentally or in business and entrepreneurship, what would it be? What would you leave the world with if you had one opportunity to leave them? What would you want them to have from you that you can contribute? And while you thinking about it, I'm gonna give you a second.
I just have more than one. I think that there may be 3 keys or life lessons that I would share that would change things, and it's just silly things that I repeat to myself. But have a plan or plan to fail. If you don't have a plan, you ain't going nowhere. And even my simple little businesses require so much thought and planning into them. And so if your idea is complicated at all, you best be prepared to write notebooks and get the planning out there.
Planning.
So I think planning is important. I'll leave with that one rather than keep going. Yeah, I think planning is
planning,
huge.
Like planning is perfect.
Your personal life.
Yeah.
I mean, gotta have somewhere that you know where you're going if you're gonna get there.
You gotta have a roadmap. Yeah, they even talks about that in Habakkuk too. Like write the vision and make it plain. So you gotta have a roadmap of where you're going at. So I think I agree. Like planning is one of those first steps. Write it down first.
I reverse engineer all of my goals. Mm-hmm. I figure out what I want, and then I'm like, okay, what does that mean? What did I have to get there? And if your goal was to buy something, then you need to know how much money you have.
Yeah.
You need to know how much money you need to get it.
Right.
And you know what you're going to have to do to keep it.
Right.
But the planning involved.
All right, one more. I know I said that one, but it just popped up to me. Like, what's one of the most valuable lesson? Just one that you learned that you can give someone to avoid a pitfall.
Avoid a pitfall?
Yeah.
Ooh. The one I want to give is probably not the one that's best, but philosophy that I like to live by is life's too short to spend it with people you don't like.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the people you like.
Yeah.
Whether it be at home or at work, you're hiring your employees, bring on people that you like.
That's a good one.
I would rather hang out with the people that I like, and we spend so much time at work with the people, our employees or our employers, and it's be in good company.
Nah, that's definitely a good one. That definitely 100% a good one. Yep. So, before we end, you got anything else?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, y'all. This was another one. We appreciate you guys just spending a little time with us. And if the viewers want to look you up or anything, do you have...
I hide. You won't find me. No.
Just kind of check out your business and see if they can reach out to you. Anything.
I hide.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna leave our brother hiding. Y'all have a good one. This is Coach B.
Took too many chances out here trying to do it my way. Open up the